Today, we're going to be correcting this grocery list. And right away, that first word, grocery, is spelled incorrectly. It's supposed to be Grocery, grocery. You can also pronounce it grocery. Some people will say grocery list, and others will say grocery list. So you will hear it both ways. Grocery list, grocery list. Our first word is meat. Meat, M-E-E-T, is used for when we meet people. But M-E-A-T is for what we eat. And meat is a general word. If you say, I had meat for dinner, I'm going to ask, what kind of meat? Most people have beef, chicken, fish, or pork. You might have steak for dinner. Steaks, S-T-A-K-E-S, are things you put in the ground to hold up a tent or kill a vampire. You can also gamble in a high-stakes game, which means you could win a lot of money. But S-T-E-A-K is what we eat, and bacon is spelled B-A-C-O-N. In our home, we are mostly vegetarians. I am more of a pescatarian, meaning I sometimes eat fish. I used to be a carnivore, but living with a strict vegetarian makes it easier for me to be more vegetarian. I know people eat other things like duck, rabbit, and venison, which is what we call deer meat. The next is bologna. If you check howjusay.com, it's pronounced Bologna, which is a town in Italy. But there are people who say Bologna, like my grandmother did. But a lot of people say bologna. You can spell bologna B-A-L-O-N-E-Y, but mostly it's spelled B-O-L-O-G-N-A. Listen to this commercial. The child says bologna, but the announcer says Bologna.
My bologna has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My bologna has a second name, it's M-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day, and if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Oscar Mayer, the first name in Bologna.
How's that?
The next word is egg, which is eggs, because you buy more than one egg, right? There are a lot of ways to cook an egg. If you go to a restaurant in the States and order eggs, the server will ask you, how do you want your eggs? Scrambled, fried, or poached? I love fried eggs over easy. The next word is potatoes, P-O-T-A-T-O-E-S. And remember that potato is spelled P-O-T-A-T-O, but even native speakers spell the word incorrectly at times. Former Vice President Dan Quayle misspelled the word. The kid spells it correctly, but listen to what happens.
Spell that again. And add one little bit on the end. Just think of potato. How's it? So, you're right phonetically. What else? There you go.
Sorry, Mr. Vice President, there is no E at the end of the word potato. But you do add ES at the end of potatoes. The next one is corn on the cob. When the corn is on the cob, you spell it C-O-R-N-O-N-T-H-E-C-O-B. 4 words, corn on the cob. Paper towels is spelled P-A-P-E-R-T-O-W-E-L-S. 2 words. The next one is difficult. In the UK, they call this washing up liquid. In the States, it's called dish soap. But in some areas, people call it dish liquid. which is spelled Dishlliquid. 2 words. Do you like frozen pizza? Well, it's spelled Frozenpizza. 2 words. And this person wants pepperoni. 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 Now, margarine is spelled Margarine. We use butter in our home. There is a difference. Margarine is processed and butter isn't. If you look at this little experiment, even the ants prefer butter. In the name Doritos, it's spelled Doritos. Notice that it's not ES at the end like in potatoes. Did you know that the owners of a restaurant called Casa de Fritos invented Doritos? They did, and you can find the restaurant at Disneyland. Chicken noodle soup is next. Chicken, Chicken, noodle, Noodle, soup, SOUP. That's soup, SOUP, and not soap, which is SOAP. One thing that I don't allow in our home is Mountain Dew, MOUNTAINDEW. It's one of the worst drinks ever to be made. Lettuce is spelled LETTUCE. There are many different kinds of lettuce. This one is called iceberg lettuce. Onions is spelled ONIONS. And the next words are mayonnaise, which is spelled MAYONNAISE, and mustard, MUSTARD. I love deviled eggs. You boil the eggs, scoop out the yolk, that yellow bit in the middle, and mix the yolk with a bit of mayonnaise and mustard. I topped mine with a little bit of dill. I made these for Halloween. There are actually 2 ways to spell ketchup. This person is trying to spell it KETCHUP, which is a correct way to spell it. I've also seen people spell it CATSUP. You can spell it either way. The pronunciation is the same. Ketchup.